Me and Ryan were not finished last week. After we played that one game through, we were buzzing and we just wanted to play more games. So we decided to do another game that's on Kickstarter right now. Now, we have not been paid for this in any way. We do get a copy of the game. So there's that as a payment, but there's no money. We're not receiving any money for this. Just like any other reviewer, we have to be given a copy to review and preview. So this is a prototype. This is a prototype of Crazier 8's Olympus, designed by James Gray and his company, Recoculous. Now, we are no strangers to the Crazier 8's franchise. We have all, to one degree or another, played these games once or more times. This was our first game of Crazier 8's Olympus. It is still on Kickstarter, I think, for about another week. So you're going to want to check that out. And if you are familiar with Crazy 8s, if you are familiar with Uno, you have a basic concept of how this game plays. You want to win this game by getting no cards in your hand at the end of your turn. So, Ryman,
yes.
There he is. Hello. I told you he was here. It wasn't just a pair of hands. So we mentioned this earlier during the game too. We've played 2-player game of Camelot before, but usually we play these games 3 or 4 players. Mm-hmm. So what did you think of Olympus as a 2-player game?
I thought it was actually really fun, and I honestly would have a hard time seeing this as more than a 2-player. I mean, I'm curious to see how it would play out. But having that standoff, just one versus another for this style, even for the other styles of the Crazier 8 franchise, I haven't experienced a more than 2-player game before, so I don't really see how a 3 or more player game would play out, because it just seems like it would be maybe a little bit slower, but maybe also more tactical. So I
forgot you haven't been in any of the multiplayer.
I have not played. I've only played it 2-player. I played that 2-player. I played this 2-player, and that's it. So that's why it's like, for me, I'm very familiar with the 2-player system. I keep forgetting that it's more than it can support up to more than that. So I'm curious to try it out. But I
when you play these games and you have the mini boxes, and there will be a mini box for Olympus. You can actually play up to 6.
Oh wow. That would be crazy. Crazier 8. But no, this was always cool. I remember having a lot of fun with Camelot, since it is just another take on Uno or Crazy 8s, because it adds in the elements of, you can have these cards out in front of you, and based on what you have, different effects come into play. Sometimes they're good effects, like you can destroy an opponent's asset or play extra events, or sometimes maybe they're not so good, like you have to draw extra cards. And in a game where you want to get rid of all your cards, drawing extra cards is never a good thing. But even like the theming of it is great, because even that drawing an extra card, it's the Trojan horse, which, for those of you familiar with mythology, was not something that ended up working out very well for those who were gifted the Trojan horse.
And you drew the card, and what does it say? It says, well, give it to another player.
I went, why would I give someone an asset? And then I read the rest of it. It says that player, whoever controls this, draws a card at the beginning of their turn.
Yeah.
Went, that's why it says to give it to somebody else. So here you go.
That really would have messed me up if I had that earlier in the game.
Yes, yeah, because it would have just stifled that whole thing, drawing, because you have to draw a card at the beginning of your turn. So now you're drawing 2, and that just keeps expanding your hand. I didn't get it till later, so the hand sizes were already kind of diminished by that point. But speaking in general terms, this game, just as much fun as I had with Camelot. Actually, I probably had even more fun with this because I was more familiar with it, and I do like the Greek mythology a lot. And so this fit in really, really well. And I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before with Camelot. The artwork on this is absolutely stunning.
That's breathtaking.
I mean, it's like you're looking at, through a flip book of just artwork from the time. It's absolutely brilliant. I think it's a Renaissance style art. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like the tapestry room in the Cloisters Museum.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So everything, all in all, from the simplicity of the rules to the ease of gameplay, and everything describes the game practically plays itself. It's great.
Now, one of the big differences with this game that James changed up on the rules is in Camelot and 1001 Nights and the base Crazier 8s, the aces aren't permanent. That's unique to this game. Each of the aces is a god.
Right. That's right.
Is a god like Hecate, right?
Or Zeus.
And they cannot be destroyed.
Yeah.
Because there are some effects. They didn't come up, but I know like Thunderbolt is an effect that will destroy an asset card.
Yes.
But so it kind of keeps these assets safe, but as we found out in the game, they can be manipulated and moved, just not destroyed. And that's a big difference, because in all the other games, they can be destroyed like any other card.
Yeah. And it makes sense. Again, we'll go back to, talking about theming, where it's, those of us mere mortals can't hurt the gods. So it would make sense that the god cards would be the ones that can't be destroyed. But maybe you can affect the way that they're leaning. So if they're loyal to me in one turn, they can be shifted and turned loyal to John or whoever else is playing at the time. So it does fit very much within the thematics of this mythology, of this style.
My sacrifice was smiled upon.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, now Zeus is allied to you, so it works out. It's fine. It was good. It was cool.
So obviously, these games have a bit of replayability to you because you were anxious, you were happy to play this. And we had a good time, and that shows in the playthrough.
Yeah.
So you think this game is replayable, obviously.
Very replayable, and also very easy to jump into. If you have friends that are familiar with Uno or Crazy Eights and are looking for a good, fun, interesting take on it, this would be really easy because it's not super complicated. There's a couple of things you just got to pay attention to because there are very specific conditions. Like there's some cards that say at the beginning of a turn, you have to do this, or at the end of a turn, you have to do this. But I would easily classify this as a gateway game.
That was going to be my next question to you, actually.
Easily. Because it does. It incorporates that familiarity with a classic card game and adds in with the descriptors. Because they even have the actual suits that we're familiar with from Ace, Ace 2, 3 up through King. So it's not all that different. And there are 4 different suits. I think there's at least 4 different suits.
Yeah, there's the 4 different. Yeah,
so
there's the moon, the sun, the Ankh, and the eye.
Yeah. So it takes that element, and then it takes the color element that you're familiar with from Uno, and sort of mashes them all together with this extra added component of, you can discard the cards to get out as fast as possible, but you can also play these extra cards to help you get to that point faster. Because some cards let you discard more, or affect other players' hands. So very easily you can have friends that aren't, deep tabletop gamers jump in with this and introduce them to something like that.
And if they're familiar with the Greek mythology, which most Western society is, then that makes jumping into the game even easier because it gives you something familiar.
Yes.
Like Ryan said, you know the story of the Trojan horse. You know who Zeus is. Mm-hmm. You know Atlantis. So it does bring a familiarity, and that makes wanting to play the game a little bit easier.
For sure.
So I personally still continue to give the Crazier 8 brand in general a thumbs up. But for as far as the new Kickstarter goes, I'm all over this. I backed this. This is backed by Two Gun Pixie. We approve of it that much. So, Ryan, you approve of this as the new Crazy 8 games?
Absolutely.
Excellent, so do I. All right, everyone, so that is our quick 20-sided shot on the Kickstarter game. As of the filming and dropping of this is still on Kickstarter for I think another week or 2. And even if you watch this video and the Kickstarter is over, go check it out. Go to the Recoculous page, and you can check this out as well as some of the other titles they have. They're really fun. You'll find a genre, a theme that you'll be able to connect to. So I'm your buddy Big John and G, and with me is the Rye Man, and we are out of here. Yeah, that was definitely fun.
Did a lot of fun.